If any of you have blocks and want to use them, feel free. I like to use them, but I don't want to make them a requirement because I know a lot of people don't have them. And if you want a pillow or any other props, feel free as well, right? This is your practice, so you want to support yourself in any way that you can. So for today, we're going to start off in child's pose, and that's why I mentioned a pillow or a block, because sometimes it's nice to put something either under your forehead if it doesn't land comfortably on your yoga mat, or maybe even between the calf and hamstring if it's too deep of a bend for your knee. Have your knees open nice and wide here so you make lots of space for your ribs. So knees out wide toward the edges of your mat. Big toes can touch, toes can point. If you prefer to have your toes curled under, that's fine. And you just lengthen out your spine and then rest. So I like to use my hands under my forehead as a little pillow just so that my face isn't smashed and I can still instruct and speak. So give your forehead something to rest on, right? Whether it's your mat, your hands, a block or pillow. And I want you to see if you can just relax your whole belly, let it fall toward the floor. And we spend a little time, many of us, kind of hugging our bellies in, so just let it go. And see if as well your shoulders can relax and all the muscles of your jaw and face can relax. Your eyes softly close and all the breath, if possible, flows in and out through your nose. If that's not available to you, if you have a stuffy nose or any impediment there, then let the breath flow in and out through the mouth. But breathing through the nose is a little bit more healing for the nervous system. And then just scan your body. Where are things a little constricted or tight? Where are you maybe still holding on to tension that you don't need right now? And see if you can start to soften those areas just with awareness. And then let's lengthen the breath. Making the inhales longer and fuller, letting the belly really fill up with that inhale. And the exhale's more complete, sort of surrendering into the exhale, really letting go, feeling yourself melt toward the earth. And just a few rounds of breath like that, belly accepting the breath. Really releasing and softening as you drop into those exhales. And already you might notice the body a little softer, the nervous system a little more relaxed, and you've just become more present. And that's what we want for our yoga practice. So see if you can hold on to this quality of breath, this quality of calm, as you gently lift your head off the floor and extend your arms forward if they weren't. So go ahead and just reach the hands forward as you pull the hip creases back. The forehead can lift, but the gaze can stay down. And then we're just going to take both hands off the mat to the right, like as far over to the right as you can, keeping the hands about shoulders width apart to start. So you can sort of align your ribs over that right thigh there, and then drop your head again. And if you can, if you want to go a little deeper here, it's not necessary, but you can take the left hand on top of the right hand. And just hug that left hip crease back. And you might feel a nice little stretch in the left side of the low back. And find that breath long and smooth so tension can just dissipate a little more as you exhale. Good. Lifting the head, taking the hands back to center. Take a moment at center to reach the hands away from your hips. Find length through both sides of your waist there. Good, and then hands off the mat to the left. As far over as you comfortably can. Align your ribs over that left thigh bone, maybe just the left ribs, it's all good. Draw the right hip back, drop your head, and then again, if you want to take the right hand on top of the left hand, feel free. So just know that, there's options and you don't have to do the same thing on both sides. Feel what you're feeling, relax the neck and shoulders, deepen that breath. So nice. Hands back to center. Extend the hands forward, hug the hip creases back, lift your forehead. Lift the elbows, if they're not. And then gently pull the hips up off the heels. Draw the knees now underneath the hips. You're at tabletop. Shoulders roll back. Make sure the knees are directly under the hips there just for stability. And then we're just going to get a little loosening for the spine. So can you bump your hips over to the right and then draw that right shoulder toward the right hip and gaze over the right shoulder. So you're shortening the right side of the waist, but lengthening the left side of the waist. So that left hip draws back away from the left shoulder. And then we'll come to neutral, back down center, and over to the other side. So left hip, just bump it over to the left, draw that left shoulder toward it, and draw the right hip away from the right shoulder. Gazing over the left shoulder, feel your breath, and then back to center. And now with the breath, exhale, right shoulder to right hip, gaze right. Inhale to center. Exhale, left shoulder, left hip, gaze left. Inhale, center. And now front to back. Inhale, gaze forward, draw the sit bones back, pull the ribs forward gently. And then exhale, round in. Press the hands forward against the floor, drop your head open through the back body. And once more, inhale, heart gently comes forward, front body lengthening here. Rounding as you exhale, dropping that heavy head, pull the belly in, open through the back body. Good. And then a flat back and neutral spine. All right, so we've opened in a few directions along the torso and spine here, and now we're just going to take some circles. Circles with the head, circles with the hips, circles with the shoulders. Please close your eyes. Don't worry about how it looks. Half circles, full circles, spirals, just anything that feels nice. You want to loosen up some of these major joints, the shoulders, the hips, even the neck. The spine moves in many directions, right? You can kind of feel its mobility here, where things feel a little tight or sticky and where things feel free and spacious. And then we'll just return to a flat back. From the flat back, we're going to curl the toes under. We're going to slowly hover the knees up off the floor and make our way toward downward facing dog. So let your head hang. You can pedal out the knees, bending one knee at a time. If that feels nice, stretch the arch of each foot one at a time. Maybe wiggle around your head to make sure the neck is relaxed. And then once you've done some initial fidgeting, for me, I find I like initial fidgeting the first time I make my way into down dog. The body sometimes wants a little movement, right? We don't want to be rigid. So you want to fidget so you can kind of find your place. And then find stillness once you've done what the body needs here. My shirt's going to be a problem, I can already find. So play with how straight you want to make the legs. That doesn't mean they have to straighten, right? The heels are dipping and disappearing if you're looking at your feet. You don't want to see those inner heels. Spin them out ever so slightly. Let the inner thighs roll backward. And see if the inner arms can roll forward so you find a little more broadening in the upper back. Can you feel the feet against the floor, even if the heels are hovering? Can you feel the hands against the floor? Can you feel the length of your spine and arms and legs? And most importantly, can you feel the length of your own breath? So just a reminder to keep it really long and smooth and free. We're going to lift the heels off the mat. Bend the knees deeply to pull the hips back away from the hands and look to the hands. Take a breath here. Slowly, when you're ready, walk to the front of your yoga mat, as many steps as you need. Let the hands float up to the shins and lift your heart. Take an inhale, lengthen out the spine. Make it nice and flat if you can. And then fold forward, drop your head, drop your hands, bend the knees a little or a lot. Make sure the feet are hips width apart. So you might need to wiggle them a little farther apart here for stability. And just clasp your elbows. One hand to each elbow. You might sway the torso a little side to side. Again, just we want to loosen things up. And you might notice as your body loosens, your mind loosens with it. Recross the elbows the funky way. For me, this always feels really weird. Sometimes the mind resists things that are uncommon. So just take a moment to allow it, accept it. You're just here for a moment. Good. And then release your hands, take them to your two hips and lengthen out your spine. Sorry, my shirt. Draw the elbow tips back, open across the heart. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And then on an inhale, just press and rise up to standing. Oh, drop your shoulders, drop your hands. Give the shoulders a couple circles, maybe circle around the head. Bring the feet just beneath the hips if they were a little wide there. And we're just going to take the left hand to the outer left thigh, just for a little support here. I'll turn this way actually. Right palm spins out to the right. On an inhale, reach the right hand straight up and root into that right foot. And then exhale, lean to the left. So that left hand is going to slide down the left leg. It's not about how far you can lean over, right? It's about just enjoying the pose, making it not extreme. So that left shoulder drops. The left side of the waist is shorter. The right side of the waist is nice and open. Really nice for our lungs, those intercostal muscles, to get a little bit more energy and breath and vitality. Keep that right foot rooted, hug the belly in. You can gaze over the shoulder if that's nice. Right hand lifts back up. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. And right hand, outer right thigh, exhale. Left palm spins out. Inhale, lift it. Root into that left foot so you're finding length already. And then lean to the right as you exhale. Keep rooting the left foot. That right hand is just there for support. You don't really even need it there, right? The belly hugging back is going to give you that support. You can gaze down over the right shoulder. Keep that left foot rooted against the floor. Keep the breath flowing if you can. Left hand lifts up. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. And take it down. Exhale. I'm going to turn forward now. Take the hands behind you. You can hook thumbs or interlace fingers here. Roll the shoulders back. Let the knuckles reach to the floor. Look up. Take a breath. And fold forward as you exhale. I like to bend my knees, keeping the spine nice and long until the head drops. And then you just round and you play if you want with straightening your legs or rolling around your head. Maybe lifting the hands toward the ceiling. Maybe bringing the heels of the hands closer together. And then when you're ready, let the hands come to the floor. Bend the right knee and take a big step back with your left foot. Good. So now we're going to keep the left knee off the floor, the back foot. Just make sure the right foot's over to the right enough so when you come up, you have stability. Shoulders down the back. Belly hugs in. You can take both hands to this top thigh to prop you up if you need to, or on a big inhale, you just sweep the arms up. So you're just in crescent pose. Can you lift the hands to lift the ribs away from the hips? Can you pull the belly button back to keep the low back supported? And maybe bend that back knee a little bit more so you can almost let it touch the floor. Take a big inhale here. You can look up if it's nice. Hands to the floor. Exhale. We're going to look forward and step forward. Go ahead and lift your heart. Take a breath. Lengthen out the spine. And then fold again when you're ready. Drop your head, drop your hands. The knees can bend. You can sway. All right. Left knee's going to bend a little more. We'll do the other side. Big step back with the right foot. My kitty cat is joining us for yoga today. Wiggle the left foot over to the left so you have a nice wide, stable base when you do rise. Belly's going to hug in. You can already soften that back knee. So again, hands can come to this top thigh to prop you up or sweep the arms up and let the breath, the inhale, lift you. And then just play. Lift the hands, lift the ribs. Hug the belly and support your low back. Keep the neck and face relaxed. And maybe you want to sink so low into the legs that that back knee just hovers away from the floor. Maybe you want to take it all the way down to the floor. One more inhale. You can look up if it's nice. Hands come down, exhale. Look forward and step up. Top of the mat. Good. Inhale, heart lifts. And exhale, fold, fold, fold. Drop your heavy head, bend your two knees. We're going to make our way to chair pose here. So start to bend the knees a little more. Lift all 10 toes. Lengthen out your spine. And then same thing. Hands can come to your thighs to prop you up. Or on an inhale, arms sweep up. So you always have options. Can you spread your toes? It's not so easy. Sometimes spreading your fingers helps. Can you hug the belly in, but lift the ribs away from the hips and sink as low as you like into those legs. Take an inhale here. Rise to stand as you exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment. Roll the shoulders back if you like. Pull the belly in if you like. Stand evenly on your 2 feet. All right, now I want you to imagine that you have a block between your thighs. Feet are hips distance apart. And when we say hips distance apart in yoga, by the way, it doesn't mean outer hips distance. It means these frontal hip bones, this distance. So the knees, hips, and ankles are somewhat lined up, right? So we want to stand at the top of our mat, feet under hips, feet under knees, knees under hips, right? Everything just stacked up nice and securely. Belly's going to hug back. So if you imagine you have a block between your inner thighs, you're just hugging the hips together. So that's 2 different ways to think about it. And then arms lift on an inhale. We're going to turn the torso to the right on the exhale and just spread the arms shoulders distance without taking that left hip. Back up, inhale, reach up, lift the back ribs, hug the belly in. Turn left as you exhale, spread the arms. You want to hug that right hip back a little so it doesn't come with you. Back up on the inhale, reach, reach, reach. And fold forward, exhale. We're going to step back to plank pose. We're going to hold the plank because it's so much fun to do that, isn't it? So I want you just to engage your thighs, pull the belly in, slide the shoulders away from the ears. You're just hovering. Notice the tendency here is to drop the head. So face moves away from the floor. Back of the neck stays nice and long. So just take a breath in when you're ready. You can drop the knees if you like. We're going to lower all the way to our bellies. Point your toes when you get there. Reach the hands toward your feet. Palms are going to face the floor with thumbs out. Lift the back of the head. Lift the face away from the floor. Can you keep the gaze straight down? Can you lift the hands and shoulders? Can you lift the feet? And you're just waking up the whole spine. Hands reach to the feet so the shoulders move off the ears. Face is away from the floor. Back of the neck is long. One more inhale. Everything lifts a tiny bit higher. And release back down. Your feet, your chin, and hands in cobra position. Shoulders roll back. Inhale up to a gentle cobra. Hips stay on the floor. Roll down. Exhale one more time. Inhale, cobra, shoulders and elbows back, heart gently lifting. Toes curl under, downward facing dog. Sorry, you guys, I don't know if you can hear all those helicopters. There's a lot of helicopters flying around. Find your breath. Let that be what you're hearing. And notice how, if you can listen to your breath, if you can find that Ujjayi breath, it helps to drown out the conversations in your head, right? The voices, your own voice in your head speaking to you. On your next inhale, right foot lifts up for 3-legged dog. Take the knee toward the nose as you exhale, shoulders over wrists. So you're in plank on the left side, but the knee comes to the nose on the right. Extend the foot back, inhale. And take the right knee to the right arm, outer arm if you can, exhale. Extend it back, inhale. Take it to the left arm, exhale. Extend it up and back, inhale. And then step it up toward that right thumb as you exhale. And no worries if you want to grab it with your right hand, carry it forward, please do. So that should make the feet hips width apart. And if not, just wiggle them over. Little bend in the back knee. Inhale, rise to your crescent. You can prop yourself up to get there. We're not in a rush. Sink a little low into the legs as you exhale. Turn right. Inhale, spread your arms. So just notice how we did this sort of standing at the front. So you're not taking that left hip with you, which means you want to hug the right hip back a little. Imagine you're squeezing the hips together. Yeah? And then right hand drops back to that left hamstring. Left hand lifts up here. And you might want to sink low, low, low into the legs. Back knee can be nice and bent. Reach up a little more. Inhale. Left hand to the floor. Exhale. Pause here. Right hand can stay on the right hip or you can lift it up. See if you can pivot to the outer edge of the back foot, and then you're just going to heel toe this front right foot sort of to the middle of your mat along the edge there. So you're using it like a kickstand. You want a 90-degree angle, knee, ankle, and hip here. You're on the outer edge of the back foot. And that right foot against the floor can help lift the hips. You can lift the right hand, lift the left ear away from the floor, keep the neck in line with the spine. Take one more breath here. And then right hand down to the mat, step back, plank pose. Take a breath in. Lower safely as you exhale. That might mean knees and then chest. One cobra. Inhale, roll on up, so easy. And downward dog, exhale. Take a few breaths. Sometimes I sneak in some challenges. Sometimes we have to be a little sneaky with those challenges. And the good news is that there's a lot of good news, actually. Some of the good news is that you are at home. You can do whatever you want. And even if you were in a class, you could still do whatever you want. But you can change anything, right? Make it your own so that it's approachable. So your breath is still flowing, so you're at ease. Listen to your breath. Let it quiet down all those different thoughts. Okay, second side. Left foot's going to hover up and back, three-legged dog. Inhale. Shift forward, knee to nose. Exhale, right side of the body's in plank. Extend it up and back. Inhale. Left knee out or left elbow. Exhale, faces away from the floor, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, extend it back. Nice and slow movements. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Extend it back. Inhale. And now we'll step it forward on the exhale or carry it forward, right? Right near that left hand so the feet are hips width apart. A little bend in the back knee if you like. On an inhale, when you feel ready, float up to your crescent. So you notice I don't say struggle up, right? Float up, make it easy. Back knee can soften and bend. On an exhale, you're going to turn to the left, spread your arms. So take a moment to feel what's going on with your hips. Is that left hip forward and the right hip back? Can you hug the left hip back a little bit more? Hug your two hips together like there's a magnet. And then drop that back hand to the hamstring. Lift the right hand up. And as you lift the right hand up, enjoy the opening through the ribs. Maybe let the back knee tap the floor or get close. Left shoulder soft. One more inhale. Reach the hand away from the hip there. And right hand comes to the earth on your exhale. Pause. Pivot to the outer edge of that left foot. Left hand can be on the hip or already lifted. It helps to lift the energy. Heel to the left foot over to the edge of your mat. Right? The heel might be on the mat. The toes might be on the floor. The hips are lifting and that left foot is pressing to help. You don't want to dump into this bottom shoulder. Left hand reaches up. Breath in a flow. Try to keep the neck in line with the spine. I know it's a little challenging, but the left foot there really helps. Take a breath. And then left hand comes back down. Step back, plank pose. Inhale. Lower safely, maybe knees and then chest. Exhale. Cobra again. Inhale. So easy. Downward dog. Exhale. Let your head hang. Let your face and jaw and lips relax. Let those heels disappear. If you want to fidget, you can fidget. All right. From here, we're going to drop the knees to the floor. That might be good news, right? And then we're going to, what should we do? We're going to crawl the knees forward. We're going to roll onto our backs because it's only a 45-minute practice. So when you get onto your back, give your knees a little hug. I really like, though, to make each practice feel complete. Right? So we haven't really missed anything, but we haven't overdone anything. And so in that effort to be complete, we're going to do a little core work right now. So I like to hug the knees in, lengthen out the low back. All right, let's take the left foot onto the floor with the bent knee. And lift the right foot up to the ceiling. So take a moment just to release into the hamstring. Maybe roll the foot around. Stretch through the back of the leg, just so nicely, so gently. So you're pulling the leg toward you as much as you like, having the knee as straight or bent as you like. Good. And then I want you to hold on to the back of that right leg and lift the head off the floor and lift the shoulder blades off the floor. And use a little leverage with the hands against the back of the leg to lift the back ribs off the floor if you can. Hug the belly down. That left foot is pressing against the floor, which should help the low back. If you have the ability to reach forward, arms on either side of your legs. If that's too much on your neck, you can take one hand behind the head to support it. If your low back feels okay, you can extend the bottom leg now forward so the legs are scissored. So find your place. Connect with your breath. What can you soften here? Can you hug your two hips together a bit? Can you flex and spread through all the toes and even the fingers so there's activity? Can you soften the forehead? Take one more inhale wherever you are in the shape and release back down, right knee to the chest. Take both knees into the chest for a moment, maybe a side-to-side rock. And now we'll do the other side. So right foot on the floor with a bent knee. Left foot up to the ceiling, hands behind that hamstring. We're starting with just a little hamstring release. You can roll the foot around. Relax the shoulders. Draw the leg as close to you as you like and play with how bent or straight you want it. And then foot comes up to the ceiling, hands behind that leg. So you're pulling against the leg now to lift your head, lift your shoulder blades. See if you can lift the ribs a bit. Start with this right foot on the floor, anchoring you, low back anchored. Maybe the hands release from the leg and you reach forward. And as you reach forward, it's going to help lift the shoulder blades. Again, if you want to take one hand behind the head, often that's really helpful because the head is heavy. Right? And breathe. And if your low back feels healthy and safe here, bottom leg can extend forward. So you have so many options. Can you hug the hips together? Can you soften the forehead? Can you spread through the toes and fingers? Can you keep the breath flowing? You might feel some shaking. Take one more inhale. Left knee to the chest as you exhale. Let your head drop back. Both knees back to the chest. You can take a little side-to-side rock. Okay. From here, let's just have a little more fun with some core work. Let's take the hands behind the head so this one won't work the neck at all. Keep the knees bent, the feet off the floor. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, hug the belly toward the earth, lift the shoulder blades. Keep the elbows really wide. Try to touch your knees to your nose. And then inhale, release the head. Exhale, lift up. Think of lifting the face toward the ceiling rather than knees to nose, actually. And then inhale, release. And that way you're not pulling on your head. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. Elbows stay really wide, you guys. Exhale, lift. Looking up to the ceiling now. Extend the right leg up as you inhale. Turn to the bent left knee as you exhale. Back to center. Look to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Knees in, head rests. Take a breath. Exhale, belly in, lift the shoulder blades, look to the ceiling. Left foot lifts up. Turn to the bent right knee. Can you keep the elbows wide? Can you keep both shoulder blades off the ground? Good. Back to center and head rests. All right, now we're just going to do a little scissoring with the legs. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lift the chest, the head, extend the right leg forward, the left foot upward. The legs are scissored. One more breath here. Look straight up, lift both shoulder blades, and exhale, release, bend the knees. I know it's a lot. Take an inhale. Exhale, belly hugs in, shoulder blades lift, look to the ceiling. Good. Inhale, shoot, what did I do? Left leg forward, right foot up. There we go. Scissoring the legs. Look up, past the toes, hug the hips. Inhale. And exhale, knees to the chest. Go ahead and give them a hug. I got a little confused there, sorry. Rock a little side to side, release it all. All right, that's enough core work. Take the feet onto the floor with bent knees. Let's give the belly a little stretch, coming into a bridge pose. So just start to curl the tailbone up, and then vertebra by vertebra, start to lift your hips, your low back, your mid back. You can just let your arms flop open, or hands can come underneath you, interlaced. Walk the upper arms a little closer together here if it feels nice. Let the heart open, move the chin away from the chest a bit so the neck feels really free, the eyes feel really soft. Tune into that third eye area, so you're softening the forehead, the brain. Feel the breath flow through you, right? You're making all this space in the lungs, in the torso, in the heart. Relax your face. Take one more breath here. And then unlace the hands if they were beneath you. Separate the shoulder blades first. And lay the back of the heart down, the middle of the back down. So again, vertebra by vertebra, nice and slow. Once the low back settles and the hip settles, take a moment just to relax. Feel the effects. Sometimes we rush from pose to pose. Sometimes it's nice to feel the effects that a pose has on our whole system. So let's take a little thread the needle here. Right ankle bone is going to cross over the left thigh. You can just use your right hand to gently coax the right knee forward, and that might be enough of a hip stretch for you. If not, left foot comes off the floor, and you can even take the hands behind the left hamstring or to the front of that left shin. So as you draw the left leg toward you, you're getting nice sensation in the outer right hip. Relaxing the shoulders, maybe giving the jaw a little wiggle, loosening up the face muscles, and then a nice deep breath in. You can open the lips and let this one go if it feels good. And make a little noise. Quiet down the voices in your head. And then let go of the left leg, uncross the right ankle, and we'll just go to the other side. Cross the left ankle bone. Left hand can gently coax that left knee forward a bit. Maybe you do something different on this side, right? Maybe right foot just hovers off the floor. Maybe you clasp behind the hamstring or shin. Make sure the back of the neck stays long. The eyebrows and jaw stay relaxed. And just tune back into your breath. Your breath is a great anchor to return to, because your thoughts will take you away. That's what they do. You can sigh out this last exhale here if that feels good. And then let go of your right leg and cross your left ankle. Feet come onto the floor together, knees drop apart. Really nice counter pose to thread the needle. If you like, your hands can come to the tops of the thigh bones there, just to lengthen the torso a bit. Slide the ribs back, and then relax your shoulders. And take a hand onto your chest, a hand onto your belly button. I want you to feel the breath beneath your hands. So not only are we using the breath as an anchor, but we're using the sensation of the breath in our bodies, making that physical connection so that it's a stronger anchor. Can you feel the belly rising as you inhale? Receiving that breath. And dropping back gently as you exhale, relaxing the body, the mind. Bottom of this next exhalation, hug the belly in toward the spine to bring the knees together. And then when the knees touch together, hug the right knee into the chest and extend the left leg out long on the floor. And then you're just going to hold the right knee with the left hand and open the right arm out to the right. Palm up if you can. You might want to turn to look at the right hand, but then you can close your eyes. And then on an exhale, guide that right knee all the way over the body to the left. And you might notice that the right shoulder floats up or the head wants to turn. It's all okay. You don't want to force anything here. See if maybe the right toes can land either on the floor or the inner left leg, just so that you're not hanging on the joint, so there's something to rest into there. And I want you to see if you can take 3 of your deepest, longest breaths here, letting the belly receive your inhale, letting your whole body release into the exhale. So scanning for any tension that you can let go of. Sometimes those inhales are a little more informative, right? They bring us a little more sensation, and then on that next exhale, we can really let go. Feel free to sigh this last one out if you'd like to, and then hug the belly button in to take that right knee back up. And when you roll back to your back, take the left knee in with it for just a moment, stabilizing and coming back to center here. And then left knee stays bent and in, right leg lengthens out, and let it really relax. Hold the left knee with the right hand. Open the left arm out to the left, shoulders height if possible, palm up. You can turn to look at that left hand, and on an exhale, left knee all the way over to the right. It's okay if the foot doesn't touch the floor or the knee doesn't touch the floor. It's okay if the left shoulder hovers off the floor. It's all okay. It's all okay. Let the foot land on something if you can. Let your body relax into the shape as much as possible, and then facilitate that with the breath, right? Bigger breaths in to feel where there might be any tension. More complete and relaxing breaths out, like you're just sinking and letting go. 2 more. Feel free to sigh this last one out, and then when you're all the way empty of breath, belly hugs in so you have some support there to take the knee back up. And when you roll back onto your back, both knees back to the chest. So good. We can take the knees in a circle both directions. And then just for fun, let's come to happy baby. Hands to the edges of the feet, or if that's not available to you, hands can come behind the knees. Yeah? And then back of the neck long, whole spine nice and long. You can rock your little baby side to side if that feels good, just for a moment. And then maybe you keep hold of the feet or the big toes, and you open the legs into a big V shape. And it's nice to straighten the legs here. So I like to take my hands and support the outer thighs. So elbows on the floor. I don't have to work the arms. You roll the feet around this way. You can open into the inner thighs this way. Take a nice little breath. As you exhale, belly hugs in, feet come up. You can use your hands to press the legs together. And then bend the knees to the chest. So good, you guys. Go ahead and lift your forehead to your knees here. Imagine that you could give yourself a kiss, or if you can, go ahead and give yourself a kiss. Mwah. Send yourself some love. Take a big breath in and hold it when you get all the way full. Squeeze every muscle you can think of, fingers, toes, face, belly. Let it all go when you're ready. Shavasana. Ah, so good. Palms spinning up. Take your arms and legs kind of wide. Take up some space here. Scoot your shoulder blades down the back a little bit. And then again, if you want to wiggle or fidget or do any kind of movement that your body would like here so that you can just settle in and get comfortable, go ahead and do that. We don't want to be rigid, but it is nice to enjoy a little stillness so that we're not distracting ourselves. So get any fidgeting out of the way so that you can drop in. And then once you've found your shape, envision it. Envision your outline against the floor. Imagining that you could almost hover above your physical body to see your shape against the floor here, just this outline. And let go of your body. Let go of any judgment, let go of any tension, let go of any effort. And coming back into your body, feel for any remaining tension. It might be in the eyebrows or the jaw. Let the top and bottom teeth separate. Relax your hands and feet. Let your belly just receive and release the breath now without any effort. So just feeling how your body breathes for you. And see if you can drop your mind, your awareness into your heart, into that open, tender heart. Maybe you can sense your heart beating or even feel it. As you're spread out on the floor here, your heart is sort of open. Can it open to receive all of the goodness of this moment, the stillness? And this pause in your day, in activity. What else would you like to receive right here, right now? Maybe from the universe, maybe from yourself, whatever speaks to you. Is there a quality that you want a little more of? Maybe for you, there's something that you would rather give than receive. Is there someone you know who's struggling or suffering, or maybe everyone, that you could give some of this healing that you're receiving from your yoga practice to? Because the truth is, when we give, we receive so much more. Whatever speaks to you, there's no right or wrong, there's no judgment. Just give yourself this time just to receive or give or both. And just be present. Notice how it feels to do this. How's your body feeling? How's your breath feeling? Can your mind just soften around it so that you don't resist? And now I'd like you to see if you can just let a little tiny smile make its way onto your face. Notice how that feels. You can bring your hands together if you like at your third eye or at your heart, taking a moment to honor yourself and the practice.